We are trying to hear what the president had to say. The president was at the place where the fire razed the entire store, and we have been told that the amount of money involved is 237 million Ghana cedis. I think we have that sound ready now. Let's hear the president, and then we'll continue.
To have a facility like this burned down by fire, the inventory is too huge, to even contemplate. I mean, all the medical supplies, both belonging to government, and even medical supplies and equipment given by donors, have all gotten burnt in this facility. The fire service are investigating and coming up with their report, and whatever the report says, if it was arson, it's criminal. If it was, a fire that occurred, by accident, then we also have to ask what is the state of fire preparedness for sensitive installations like this, and somebody must take some responsibility. We can't continue to have this kind of situation happen where the nation loses so much money. In these times when we have economic challenges, to lose medical supplies and equipment worth more than 300 million Ghana cedis is totally unacceptable. And so I'll ask the fire service to conduct the investigation quickly, and also liaise with national security and conduct an investigation. Let's see exactly what happened here. But this should send a signal to all heads of MDAs that they must liaise with the fire service and ensure that their premises are well protected against fire.
You heard President John Dramani Mahama giving the directive that henceforth all of them, heads of the MDA, should ensure that their premises are insured against fire, at least. It's not the first time I'm hearing him give this directive. I remember when the Foreign Affairs Ministry was raised by fire. I remember that a similar call was made. So how do you understand why it happens this way, that such very key installations are not insured?
Something, today you are making me sad. We just went from the mass metro to the CMS thing. If you're a Ghanaian and you see these things, you have to bow your head down in shame. You mean a whole nation can't even manage something as simple as this? How are others doing it? It's one example, I'm afraid, of an, I'll call, executive failure. You recall one time when the U.S. agents, there was a fire somewhere, and the Americans were asked to come and help us investigate. And you heard what one deputy minister said when we asked about the results. Oh, this is for the government. We don't have to publish it out. I feel sorry for the president. If he is appointing people to manage such institutions, the government, Mr. Atufosin, need to take the lead in reviewing the government's policy on insuring government properties. I think there must be some exceptions. This is one example, clearly, where given the stocks that must go there, some insurance is important. I heard one senior journalist saying, principle of insurance, all of us bear the risk. No. 300 million, as the president said, is a lot of money by any standards. $100 million. Please, if you don't have such a policy, let us work with it. Investigations are going on. The president says that somebody must accept responsibility. I hope that we follow through. Let's not sit down 2 months later when all the evidence has come in, given our history. I mean, what happened to that investigation?
What are you looking forward to when he says someone must take responsibility? I am asking, who is it, when, and how?
I think all of the above. The investigations must go on. We must, if it's random, and from what I'm hearing, it's not because somebody was supposed to have set a fire outside. What I'm asking is inside. The fire extinguishers. Committees upon committees have come up with, after the Foreign Affairs, recommendations. Something as simple as fire, what do they call it, where they get the water. Not working. You know, I know the government has bought a lot of fire engines, but that is not the solution, obviously. Because if I had take the car there and I don't even have water to quench the fire, and I hear almost after every fire, there are recommendations. What has happened to those? So that's why I call
the fire service says they are getting tired with that, very frustrated.
Whose job
because
is
they do it
get,
and they submit and no one is implementing their recommendations.
But they are buying cars which don't have access to water. Does it make sense? Go to the parliamentary parking lot. You see new cars. I remember somebody of fire tenders. Somebody saying, "Oh, government is providing fire tenders," hitting their chest. Fire tenders to use what? No water. Does it make sense? Simple solutions, I'm afraid, work better than this political taking. Let's take the politics out of it.
Mr. Duncan, the chairman of the Fire Service Council, Alhaji Amadou Sorigo,
my good friend,
says that criminal process must be followed in this, and those that are found should be prosecuted. In fact, there are suspicions that it could be an act of arson.
Yes.
Well, Samson, it was not for nothing that you showed us the clip, of the president addressing. And one thing that has made me very, very sad and afraid for this country is his remark that drugs given to us by donors, donated drugs. No self-respecting country depends on donations for development. And the government is completely oblivious. The government is completely oblivious of the threat and the importance of demographics in the development of a country. It was demography that was taken into consideration by de Klerk when he realized that apartheid was no longer sustainable given the rate growth of the population of the blacks in South Africa. So demography has become important in the development of a country. And here you are, dependent on donation for drugs. It's a very sad commentary.
But can you move on from there? So let's address
But it is important.
Yes, I know. You have addressed
it's important. Your child's life is threatened if the donors decide that we must reduce the population growth of this country. That is the root. And don't dismiss that. The effort and the responsibility of governing a country is a very serious one, and we should be committed to it 100%, covering all grounds and making sure that we survive in this global world. So the idea of donors giving you drugs is dangerous. It's very, very dangerous.
Okay, let me ask you this question. We are told that
Poison.
No, it's serious.
We are told that store did not have a fire certificate.
Oh, something. This one, I'm drawing your attention to a more serious thing. This one, clear case of incompetence and negligence of duty. Somebody must go. Who is the director of the Central Medical Stores? He must go. The minister, he has a question to answer.
Then why don't you go up to the president? He appoints the minister.
No, but why don't you
No, but
the health services? It's a service, Ghana Health Service. Why are you not tackling Ghana Health Service?
Thank you.
And talking about the minister.
I'm coming to you right now.
Add to the list so that responsibility is placed thoroughly and precisely where it is due. So I'm saying that somebody must be responsible. I'm suggesting the director of medical services. You are suggesting who?
You said the minister, so I said the minister.
You said the minister.
No. First, I said the director of medical services.
You said the minister.
And then I said the minister.
Then go to the president.
And then you said go to the president, and he said health services. Thank you.
We have the executive presidency.
How soon do you expect any
Thank
of
you
these
for adding to
actions?
the list.
Elsewhere, some people would have been resigning over this.
That's exactly.
They would have resigned the very first
We
day.
don't have the
Precisely.
culture.
That is the point. Public service, has now become an avenue for self-service and self-aggrandizement. But this was not the case some years ago when Nkrumah was doing his dawn broadcast. He was instilling the thing of discipline. What have we got? People wake up by night and set aside all the political decisions that we have made and then say that I'm now the head of state. People do that in this country.
Okay. See,
that is the basis of indiscipline.
The chair of the Fire Service Council, who is a part of government, hear him. He says that the basic fire safety regulations were not followed. There is no fire certificate to this store. It's our central store for the whole of Ghana. Can you imagine that?
Yeah. Samson, thank you very much. And I want to caution one thing. As a country, I see one major problem why we are not getting there, and that is over-politicization of issues. Almost every single thing we want to politicize it.
I have not heard the politics in this one.
Well, I mean, Samson, Honorable Akoto started by saying an executive failure. He started going on to say, if a whole country, we cannot manage something like this, it is an executive failure. Take it out.
No,
please, I'm coming. I've not landed. Let me go on. Let me land. Let me land.
I mean, let's admit it. It's politics. We put
that
responsibility on the government. Yeah, we put responsibility. We all. No, but you come on. It's politics.
Samson, this is a clear sign of a system failure. A system failure. You can change government.
Where is the system located?
Can I land? Can I land? I've just started.
Doc, please allow him. Doc, please allow him.
It's a clear sign of a system failure. Forget about insurance. Let me even segregate insurance. Because even if you have insurance, you have to mitigate the loss. And then make sure that that very thing you are insuring against does not happen. Did we do that? And who is responsible? The Ghana Health Service. I've not heard anybody since this time talking about Ghana Health Service on this platform. It's about time we take responsibility to those who are appointed through the system, the public service, through the system, not only the politicians, those who are handling it. What are they doing? The Ghana Health Service ensured that basic prevention measures are put in place. Where the fire started little, somebody could have quenched it if fire extinguisher was available. If the procedures prescribed by the Ghana National Fire Service were followed through, I don't think this would have happened. This is where I want to take my argument to. And until we start looking at that and always politicizing every single thing, we'll get nowhere as a country. We'll get nowhere. Let us look at the issues and address it. I'm not attacking you as a person, honorable member. I'm not doing that. I'm saying that as a country.
I'm comfortable.
It is a fact.
What the president is saying is no different from what you are saying or what I'm saying. He's accepting that he's the executive president and somebody must be responsible.
Yes.
Is that somebody that we don't know yet?
Yes.
But
you see,
the director that he mentioned is part of GES.
Ghana Health Service.
Yes. Sorry, Ghana Health Service. That director, he's part of Ghana Health Service.
Yes, of course, he says. So I'm expecting.
I was hoping you address that statement he made that whose responsibility is to acquire.
It is the responsibility of Ghana Health Service. It is the responsibility of Ghana Health Service to follow through. Somebody is responsible at Ghana Health Service. If you cannot even insure because of budgetary constraint, then you have to put the precautionary measures in place to ensure that at least you can mitigate those losses. That is my argument, and I believe that is what we have to do as a country.
Okay.
Yes. The insurance is another matter.
Yes.
We can insure. Insurance is another matter.
But still,
even if you insure, it depends on type of insurance. Are you insuring the building? Are you insuring the content?
Both.
Then what are the measures to mitigate the losses if it does happen?
When you say Doc brings in, executive failure, what do you say to someone who says, this is not the first time I'm hearing the president suggest or order these entities to ensure, or those who head them to ensure that they take at least insurance for fire, against fire?
Thompson, the president direct, we have a responsibility as government agencies, not only ministers of state, to follow through.
If you don't follow?
If you don't follow, you get you can be dealt with through the measures as prescribed by the president.
And I told
but Samson,
so should he be sacking somebody
instead of
saying someone must take responsibility?
In spite of the insurance, even if you have insurance and you don't put up mitigation measures to mitigate the losses, the insurance company will not even pay. They won't pay.
When I say executive failure, see, it's not parliament or judiciary. That's why we elect governments. So I cannot blame parliament or the judiciary. I'm not naming persons. I said executive.
No, I'm not saying that.
So if CPP were in power, I'll say executive failure, irrespective of who is there.
I was expecting that you say that the Ghana Health Service should have done better.
That is why the president is saying that somebody should go. He's saying there has been a failure in somewhere. His investigations are going to uncover exactly where it is. I don't want to prejudice the investigation, but he's accepting that it is a responsibility that somebody must pay for. And I'm saying that we've heard it before. I hope this time it goes through. 300 million this time, foreign affairs. The Chinese built a new one for us. The donors are not going to come and keep drugs if we have that type of warehouse. I don't think so.
We lost the foreign affairs building, we lost the Shraj building, and the fires, have been doing quite a bit of.
And we brought in the U.S. people to help us investigate, and the deputy minister says, it is their responsibility.
Somebody has said.
on donors and development partners.
He also raised another issue.
There's a gentleman in the U.S. who sent this. He says that are we serious? We don't even have security cameras, no fire certificate, no insurance. It's about time CCTV cameras are placed in some important buildings and areas in Ghana to help our investigations. He feels the investigation may not even go anywhere because they may not find anything really.
So you can have CCTV cameras.
Government can help us. We used money to purchase security surveillance equipment from the Chinese, the Huawei. These type of places, I think that they should direct their attention to. It will help us.
Kwame Opong also says that the basic of our problems to be solved should start by dealing with our address system, making sure everyone in the country has SNIT number. And the third is a common ID card.
ID.
Yes, that one. A lot of people continue to repeat that it is important and it has to be done.
You say you all support it?
No.
And nothing has been done about it?
There's a street naming process that is going on. Is it not supposed to be part of it?
Yes, but what I'm saying is that it's when somebody with an executive power comes to say, I support this, or recommending a policy, we want to see it done. This is the point.
You have to look at the budgetary constraints. and then start from somewhere.
Yes.
It's a process. It's a process.
Communicate with your people. Let us know that this is what you're doing, and this is the culmination.
Can we agree that since we all are, this is important?
It is.
That we find money to do the street naming and national ID.
It's important.
Whatever, it's a matter of priority.
Yes.
But the district assemblies must get their money.
No, they've started doing some work.
Okay. So this directive, are you sure it's not just one of those? Just say something because something has happened.
I don't think so.
Is it in the nature that it's going to be enforced? That if the heads of these institutions don't do this, then they will suffer some consequences?
Knowing the president, working with him all this time, I will assure you that he'll follow it up with a directive in writing. And let me say that it is not only the responsibility of the Ministry of Finance to ensure. The directives will come. It's up to the department, the agencies, to get quotes, look at what type of insurance they want, get quotations from the insurance companies, whether it's content insurance, whether it's a building insurance, or public liability insurance, and all type of insurance.
The potential criminal element that was allegedly involved in this matter.
Okay.
And then submit the quotations in bulk to Ministry of Finance for us to assess it and then go for it.
There have been
these are things
serious allegations of over purchasing of some items in this particular building, including what, some $9 million worth of condoms, and some people are thinking that when the National Security Investigators started honing the area, somebody decided that, hey, let's
have to do that.
So all these aspects, the president said national security.
We understand that this also has some implications for years of ongoing investigations.
Yes. Yes.
know,
in the past,
because everything is
purchases of health. I'm aware. And what for me, what we have lost.
So, like you said, the possibility of arson
should not be ruled out.
out.
But what is worse is that I think that we are going to lose a very important thing with the donors. Ghana had been used as a center for supply to the West African countries. See, it doesn't help us, credibility. But the criminal aspect should not be ruled out. I think nothing should be ruled out.
Or maybe now the donors may, find reason to assist to ensure that whatever new building we put up, either is fire resistant or we have.
We must do that and request that you come in. See, if you are proactive, they'll come in because technology-wise, if you go to places elsewhere, the type of fire system that is there, as soon as it starts, there's an internal system that quashes it.
Right.
It's not very expensive.
Within the building.
Yes.
Right. Yes.
This issue, as a country, we are very naive. We are very naive.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
We are naive about what?
About the fact that we can carry on with donor support.
Okay, you are going back to your problem with the donor support.
For 57 years, including in Nkrumah's regime, we've had donor support. Akosobo was donor support.
It was a loan.
Exim Bank, yes, it's still donor support.
Yes, but donation.
It's a loan on a concessional basis.
It's not a grant. Yes. Most of our money from donors has not been grants. It's a loan. So let's be careful.
Your reaction to Akosobo was very swift.
Yes,
it was a loan. Yes, it was a loan. I mean, it was an agreement between two mature countries and people, but not one of submission.
I get that. Thank you very much. This has been Newsfile. I'm Samson Ladia. Yanini is produced by Sedemofori.
Samson, we didn't talk about the youth policy implementation.
We have run out of time. We have run out of time. We'll find time and discuss all of those issues. In fact, we're also supposed to be joined by Dr. Kofi Amoah, who is an economist and a business magnate. Because of some emergency, he couldn't join us on this show. As always, my outfit is provided by Latida. You can call them 020-433-6444. 020-433-6444. My guests have been Kessel Atoforsen, who is Deputy Minister of Finance, also Dr. Antonio Akotose, former MPP, Deputy Minister of Finance, former Deputy Minister of Finance, Minister of State, in charge of at the Finance and Economic Ministry.
And acting Minister of Finance.
Right. So, okay, you acted. That's nice.
For 3 months and 2
also,
weeks.
Echo Duncan, he is head of the political committee of the CPP and is a businessman. Have a good afternoon. I'm Samson Ladia Yanini. This show is repeated at 9:30 on this particular platform. The news is up next.
CPP, a businessman.